And it's Jackson in at the point. ABC's checked in for the Pistons. Pistons leading by 8. Second half here. We're just over 3.5 minutes into it. That pushes it to double digits.
You know, the height difference there is huge, but he canceled it out with great body control in the air.
Exactly, Steve. He got to the hoop and wouldn't allow himself to be manhandled by the big boy.
And the Pistons making a change here. Caldwell Pope's checked in. The Pistons have shot 9 of 11 at the free throw line.
Well, solid numbers for this club from the free throw line this season, shooting about 77% collectively.
And guys, those numbers represent a nice step up from what they were last year.
Watson dishes to George. West setting the pick for George. That one's good, and the Piston lead is cut down to just 8 points with the bucket from West.
The second he got around the pick and shook his man, it was straight to the bucket for the easy deuce. Very, very well done.
Now let's go to Doris Burke. Doris?
Thank you, Kevin. Roy Hibbert has now mastered what he calls, quote, the straight up. He once saw Dwight Howard in the finals jump and absorb contact without fouling, and Hibbert thought to himself, I've got to learn how to do that. In drills, his coach, Frank Vogel, made him defend 2 players at once without fouling. At first, he wanted to give up, but guys, that is how he perfected it.
He sure has. Coach Vogel making sure the refs honor it. Doris, thanks. The offensive rebound.
Such a solid performance for them inside. Their rebounding has been terrific.
Yeah, that's just one of the few things that have gone their way today.
The shot's good from Smalls. And now we'll get perspective here on how the hustle game has been going for the Pistons.
Their defense has been outstanding, Kevin. Closing out on shots, blocking a lot of them as well.
And guys, I think you've got to give them credit for the number of steals they've taken away. I mean, a lot of effort on the defense from them tonight.
It's blocked.
It just hasn't been a very good day for him, guys. They need him to start burying some of those.
The drive by Jackson. Misses off the right iron.
Boy, for my taste, he's far too inconsistent with that shot. I mean, he's got to make those if he's going to take his game to the next level.
And that's out of bounds. Indiana will retain possession.
Boy, that pass was in the air a long time.
Long enough for him to get a finger on it anyway and send it out of bounds.
So an entirely new group in now for Indiana. Mahimi's checked in for Hibbert. Scola comes in for West. Hill, he's checked in for Rodney Stuckey. And Donald Sloan subbed in for C.J. Watson. And a switcher also for Detroit. Jennings is checked in. Just 4 to shoot. They get it back. Mahimi passes to George. Hill kicks to Sloan. The feed to George. Scola, a screen on Williams. George. Rebound, Detroit. The Pacers beat them last time when these two teams met in Indiana.
Well, they were extremely aggressive defensively early on in that last game, and it kind of backfired on them. Their starters wound up in foul trouble, and I thought that led to the loss.
It'll count. No luck. And here at the end of the third quarter, it's a double-digit ball game.
Next Sunday, February 8th, Nikola Pekovic and the Minnesota Timberwolves go up against Greg Monroe and the Detroit Pistons. East.
Here now a chance to show you our assist of the game, and it's presented as always by State Farm.
It was a beautiful pass, nice, intelligent basketball. The execution was perfect, and that pass set up the open 3.
Checked in for Donald Sloan. ABC's checked in for Detroit. Reggie Jackson comes in for Brandon Jennings. George and Scola, they're the forwards. George Hill out there with Rodney Stuckey. And it's Mahimi in at the center position. So that's the group out there for Indiana.
Well, at least the defender got his money's worth on that one.
Yep, that was an easy whistle for the officials.
He hits the first one, and that stretches their lead to 8. So Detroit going with an almost entire new group here. So it gets them both, and it's a 9-point ball game here.
No mistakes there. I think you can close the book on this one, guys. It's done.
The drive by Hill. That's tipped. Here's ABC. And so the Pistons take the win. They came, they saw, they conquered.
Hey, Kevin, to me, any win is a good win.
That'll do it for now. For Doris Burke, Steve Kerr, and Clark Kellogg, and the rest of the 2K Sports crew, this is Kevin Harlan saying thanks for joining us. From suburban Detroit, we proudly bring you the Pistons at the Palace of Auburn Hills. The Detroit Pistons come into this one after the win against the Pacers in Indiana.
And if you look at their numbers in that game, what jumps out most...
The Nuggets making a change here. Hickson's checked in. The Nuggets trail by 6. Taking a look at the Nuggets, Chandler and Fareed are at the forward spots. Lawson out there with Foy, and it's Hickson in at the pivot spot, manning the middle. Fareed dishes to Foy. Feeds to Lawson. Down to 5 on the shot clock. And here's Chandler from the arc. That is good. Chandler's got his second bucket of the night.
Poor job defensively, giving him such a clear look at that three-point shot.
And ABC's up in for the Pistons. And a bit of good news for this young man. He was offered another 10-day contract by the team as they want to get an extended look at him.
And, you know, just the fact that they want to see more of him really is a good indication that he's doing the right thing. I think he's on the right track in trying to maintain his momentum.
Well, Denver in the post-Melo years has been a collection of good players, but you always have to wonder if they'll have a low ceiling because this team does not have a so-called superstar.
Here's Lawson. Oh, that's blocked. And there's 2 points. Working on the glass, paying off that time. The Pistons lead it. Left side, Jackson. Here's Smalls. Almost, but it rolls out. At that point, Denver has done well without what most would call a superstar, but obviously that takes its toll come playoff time.
It really does. I mean, you need somebody that you can really rely on as your go-to guy, the one who gets it done for you in the clutch, and they haven't quite established that player, and yet they're still competitive.
Jackson kicks to Butler. They get it back. Monroe, and that one's good.
You got to put bodies on the glass right there. They just are not getting it done on the boards.
Yeah, they've got to do a much better job of going harder than that to the glass.
Here's what Detroit's going with right now. Sean Williams checks in for Drummond. Jody Meeks comes in for Butler. And it's Jennings in for Reggie Jackson. Big group substitution here for Denver. Laverne, he's checked in for Kenneth Fareed. Arthur comes in for Wilson Chandler. Martin's checked in for Randy Ford. And Jameer Nelson is subbed in for Ty Lawson. Up and in on the layup. Martin's got his first 2 points. So for the Nuggets, their last game, a loss to the Celtics in Boston.
Yeah, you want to talk about a team that just couldn't get into a rhythm offensively. That was a really ugly game for them.
Yeah, you know what? I wonder about the game plan, but really, it was more about a lack of execution than anything else.
The Nuggets have gone 6 of 14 shooting the ball since the start of the game. And Nelson gets it to go.
Well, no question, Clark. They're riding a huge wave of momentum after a furious run.
Well, they took their bumps and lumps earlier, but dusted themselves off, and now they're fighting back.
Smalls bounces high off the rim and drops.
Heads-up play there, guys, on the assist and the finish.
For Denver, they've gone 7 of 15 from the field to this point. Nelson, the pass to Barton. Deflects the pass. Nelson against Jennings. Here's Laverne, and he goes strong with the one-handed jam.
That is up-tempo basketball at its best. So much easier to operate in the open court when a steal triggers the break.
Yeah, it really does allow your offense to flow better. When you can get out and run and get easy opportunities, then
For Detroit, Quincy Miller's checked in for Contavious Caldwell-Pope. ABC comes in for Meeks. And Reggie Jackson subbed in for Brandon Jennings. Smalls, he's in at shooting guard. Monroe is out there with Williams. And there's Jackson, and it's Miller in at the small forward. That's the 5 on the floor for the Pistons. Here's Lawson, and it's going to be 2 free throws. Drew contact on the shot.
the offense just getting right to the rim. At least they saved the layup with the foul.
That's old school basketball rules. I mean, at the end of the day, no easy layup. Earn it from the line.
And he sinks the second.
Ty Lawson somewhat undersized at the point guard position at 5'11", but he makes up for it with his strength, and he really competes defensively. He is not easy to push around.
Here's Monroe. Connects on the 9-footer. Monroe's got his third bucket of the night.
Easy baskets. That's exactly what they need.
Lawson against Jackson. Lawson dishes to Chandler. And there's the foul. Goes on Quincy Miller. And an important part of every team's game, a look at the hustle stats for Denver.
They've set the first half tone by really getting out in transition.
The other thing they've had going for them tonight is working hard on the offensive glass. They've had a number of putbacks.
Wilson Chandler, a versatile forward, Steve, in his 7th season out of DePaul.
I like him, Kevin. I mean, he's strong enough to play inside, quick enough to guard on the perimeter, and then he's got that three-point range on his shot. So, very versatile player.
A minute 20 left now here in the second. Lawson kicks to Chandler. Here's Fareed. And he tries off the glass, but it's no good.
And Wilson Chandler, 2 seasons now removed from hip surgery, showing no ill effect last season as he started at the small forward spot in the place of the injured Danilo Gallinari. In the first, he had trouble hitting with any consistency, but here in the second, he's turned it around.
Fareed, a screen on Jackson. Little turnaround. Detroit with the rebound.
What you like about Chandler, an inside-out scoring threat, and he's an explosive finisher around the rim, too. His shooting range that stretches out beyond the arc. You know, when the size advantage is that pronounced, I mean, that's exactly what you should do offensively in this situation. Take it strong to the middle.
Lawson kicks to Fareed. Puts up the baby hook. No good, unable to end this run. Pistons leading by 3. About 3 seconds between shot and game clock. Here's Smalls. Will not go. This is off the front iron. Denver's gone 3 of 7 tonight from three-point territory. Chandler, the pass to Lawson. Back to Chandler, and stolen by Miller. Left side, Miller. Here's Smalls. Oh, he got it!
Boom! Buzzer! Knock it down! Right at the horn.
Oh, 3 points right there at the end of the quarter.
Only about 1 in 50 of those go down, but that's why you chuck them up there. You want to give yourself